and the seam heads that bleed orange and black. This is Sports Phone KNBR. Sponsored by Industrial Metal Supply on the sports leader. Check the live stream on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
And the number is 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. Welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. I'm your host, Carlos Ramirez. Kyle Haar is producing this show. Also on the console. What a night. What a night for everyone in the Bay Area. Traffic usually is bad this time of day. Today is New York bad. It's LA rush hour bad. It's bad. It's hideous. If you have to stay home, stay home. If you have to leave, unless you have a medical emergency, don't leave the house or your office. I've done this plenty of times, where I check my Google Maps or Waze or whatever app I check for the traffic. And when I see over an hour, I just stay indoors. I don't leave. I get a book. I listen to a podcast. I tune into KNBR, whatever. Traffic sucks. You know what doesn't suck? Klay Thompson. And we have a show for you tonight that's going to be very special. Two guests tonight. Rod Brooks will join us in about 15 minutes to talk about Klay Thompson and also the 49ers, who made a big move today extending Diamador Lenore. What does that mean for him and the team going forward? And also, at halftime of the Warriors game, because tonight is all about Klay Thompson, John Dickinson, JD, will join us at halftime of the show and the game live from Chase Center to get the vibes, the energy of what's happening tonight at Chase Center. I drove by it on my way here to the station. It is completely packed. It's like a playoff atmosphere, Kyle, near Chase Center, as it should be when one of your all-time great players comes back, even when he's wearing the wrong uniform, the wrong colors. He's wearing 31 because of Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller is in the building calling the game tonight with Kevin Harlan for TNT. It's very special. I'm never going to get used to watching Klay wearing 31 and a different uniform. It's never not going to be weird. So here's what we're going to do. In 15 minutes, Rod Brooks will join the show. At halftime of the Warriors-Dallas game, whenever that happens, John Dickinson will join the show live from Chase to get a vibe of what's happening, to recap the first half of the game, and to tease his show that will go on after Sports on KNBR. But we're going to give you the chance to give Klay Thompson a gift. Here's what's going to happen. You, the fan, we're going to take your calls tonight, and we're going to record your messages for Klay Thompson. They have to be short. You can't give us a soliloquy going like 5-10 minutes. No, you got to be short, sweet, to the point. Hi, my name is so-and-so Klay. Thank you for the whatever, how many times, the rings, whatever you want to say. Keep it short, keep it sweet. We want to get as many phone calls as we can so we can record as many messages possible. So then later tonight and tomorrow on KNBR, all our shows can play over and over and over the voice of the fans. You've heard from Murph and Marcus this morning, from Papa and Lund, and from Tolbert and Copes. You just heard Larry. It's time for the Bay Area to hear you, the fan. Again, the number, 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. That's the phone number. That's also the text line, the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line. Remember, we're going to record you're going to go on air, and you're going to give a message, whatever you want to say. Thank you. I miss you. Why did you leave? I'm bitter. You look weird wearing number 31. Steph Curry just fouled Klay Thompson. He's going to go to the line. course, the first points of the game are going to come via the free throw by Klay Thompson because that's, what happens in real life. So this is your chance for you as Klay Thompson just scores the first point of the game in a free throw for you to call in and leave your message. We're going to record them and play them later tonight. And also they're going to be available tomorrow for the entire programming here on KNBR for everyone to hear. What does the Bay Area want to say to Klay? He's going to listen to this. You know how Klay Thompson is. He says nothing gets to him, but he listens to everything. And wouldn't it be nice for Klay, after his first game back as a Maverick, to hear what everyone in the Bay Area wants to tell him? Thank you. I love you. I miss you. Thank you for Game 6 against the OKC Thunder. Thank you for the 37 points in a quarter against the Kings. Thank you for the 14 triples against the Bulls. Whatever you want to say to Klay. 415-808-5627. The number is 415-808-KNBR. Let's get this show on the road. We've got Mary in Petaluma. She's going to be the first one to record a message for Klay Thompson tonight. Mary, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you guys very much. So, Klay, thank you for everything. Klay in the Bay is always going to slay. Hashtag Klay area.
Mary, that was perfect.
Thanks, man.
We have it, right, Kyle? We have it. All right, now that we got you, are you watching the game?
I will be, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Work.
Give me your favorite memory from Klay Thompson's era with the Warriors.
Probably running into him at a Pete's Coffee in Tiburon.
Okay.
And with Rocco, he was cool enough to not lie about having a service dog. He leashed up Rocco politely. He was super low key. Folks, were respectful. He was awesome. And then playing wise, obviously, the 37-point quarter, probably some of his antics at the parades. One last thing. I don't know that 31 is just in reverence to Reggie Miller. You know what I'm saying. It's one more than Steph.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
It also adds to 4.
It does.
3 + 1.
It does. It
All
does.
Right, guys, great show. I'm so looking forward to tonight. We're so indulged as a sports fan base, and you guys are part of it, and I thank you both.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much. That's Mary from Petaluma. So a woman, a lady, got the party started. Remember, tonight is all about Klay, all about you, the fans here at KNBR at Sports Phone KNBR. We're going to record every message that you call on air. We're going to stack them up, give them to JD, play him on the show both tonight and later tonight and also tomorrow. If Murph and Marcus want to play them, Papa and Lone want to play them, we got a stacked show for you to join, call, and give your messages to Klay Thompson. Let's hear it. Let's give a beautiful present for Klay Thompson. Let's have Klay listen to each and every one of you. What do you want to say to Klay Thompson? The number, again, 415-808-KNBR. That's 415-808-5627. Every day, I listen to KNBR from when I wake up until I go to bed. And I can't remember a day where everyone was so glad to welcome an opponent. Because in reality, that's what it is. It's an opponent. It's not an enemy. There's athletes, rivals, that supersede the label of being a rival, that just go above and beyond, whether it's because of their antics, because of history, the Dodgers, because of their greatness. LeBron. LeBron never did anything wrong to the Bay Area. LeBron James, he was almost a Warrior last season, but he never did anything he didn't insult anyone. He didn't, cuss at anyone. He didn't cheat. He was just great. It's like Ohtani, right? At least LeBron never said no to the Warriors like Ohtani said no to the Giants, right? It's okay for you to not like someone who's great and kicks your butt. or beats you. You know, LeBron didn't beat them all the time, but he did beat them in the finals once, right? And I know what happened with Draymond. We all know the story. But I don't remember a single day where everyone, both on this station, across the street, on the tube, social media, written press, on the internet, everywhere, the story was about the opponent. And not just the Mavericks, because there were few demonstrations of or interest in dicing up what's Jason Kidd's playbook look like, or the greatness of the Slovenian magician Luka Doncic. You know, it was everything about Klay Thompson. And that says more than anyone can ever do or that we can do or say about Klay. When Jason Kidd has to call a timeout, the Dubs are up 14-9, Draymond's hyped up. Let's see what's going to happen. Remember, at halftime of the show and of the game, John Dickinson, who is live inside Chase Center, is going to join us to talk about what he lived, what he experienced on Klay's welcome back to the Bay Area as a Maverick, also to talk about the game. But tonight is about you before we go to break. And after that, we're going to have Rod Brooks join the show to talk about Klay Thompson and also the move the 49ers made today, extending Diamador Lenore for a 5-year, $92 million contract extension. That's going to be on tap. But your calls, remember, we're going to record. Mary was the first one. She got the party started. So the number is 415-808-5627. If you're watching the basketball game, right now there's a break. Call now. You can watch the game. Call in as you're watching the game and leave a message like Mary from Petaluma did for Klay Thompson. So, quick break here on the show. When we come back, more of your calls, your messages for Klay Thompson. We're going to record them and put them on the air tonight and tomorrow right here on KNBR. Remember, the phone number is 415-808-5627. Also, the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line, same number, 415-808-5627. That's 415-808-KNBR. Quick break here on Sports Phone. I am Carlos Ramirez. When we're back, Rod Brooks joins the show.
Where we feed the faithful. Sports Phone KNBR. Streaming live at twitch.tv/the Sports Leader.
He's back! And now, in his 11th NBA season out of Washington State University, number 11, Klay Thompson!
That was a different kind of return for Klay Thompson. Today, he is on the other side of the street. He is a Maverick. The game is 16-13 Warriors. Now, in the first quarter, Klay started with Doncic, Irving, Gafford, and Marshall. 2 points. He scored the first 2 points of the game, both free throws. He is 0 for 2 from the field. Before we go to Rod, let's go to April in San Leandro. She is our second caller tonight that wants to leave a message for Klay. Remember, the story tonight is we're opening the phones for everyone to call and leave a message for Klay Thompson. We're going to record those messages. And then tonight, John Dickinson will be able to play them tomorrow morning. Murph and Mack will have them. Papa and Lund will have them. Tolbert and Copes will have them. It's your gift to Klay. So, April in San Leandro, welcome and take it away.
Hi. I want to thank Klay for not just being a great player, but for being a great personality and for the heart that he had. For his love for his dog Rocco, for boating to the games, the paper airplanes. It was never a dull moment with him. And with the heart, him coming back after the injury, after 2 injuries, coming back and winning a championship that same year, we will never forget that. We will never forget you. The Bay Area appreciates you, Klay. All love.
That was perfect, April. Well done. Well done. Are you watching the game right now?
I am watching the game right now. I had to turn it off to make this call.
No. Listen, we are your second screen. This show is your perfect companion for the game because you can watch the game. You can watch the game. We're not telling you not to. You can watch the game. But listen to us. You can watch the game or put KNBR on your phone on either the app or YouTube. You can listen to us while you watch the game because we're going to give you information. We're going to have it's your second screen / companion for the game, April. Give me your favorite Klay Thompson moment.
For me, and I was a Larry Bird fan growing up, I was a big fan of the three-point contest.
Yep.
And the back and forth between him and Klay in him and Curry in those three-point contests when Curry won one year and then Klay came back and beat him the second year. And just that to me was a big highlight. Of course, we love the championships because we went so long without them in the Bay Area. But the three-point contest to me just gave me joy. I love to watch them, and I kind of rewatch them sometime on YouTube.
April, thank you so much for the call. Enjoy the game, and thank you for recording our second message of the night for the great Klay Thompson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was April in San Leandro. You can do it like she did or like Mary did. Where'd Mary call from? Oh, I forgot. Petaluma. Thank you. I have the memory of a gopher for some things. Numbers I remember. Names, I'm horrible. But, yeah. So the number is 415-808-5627. 415-808-KNBR. Call or text. But if you call, like Mary just did or April just did, we're going to record your message for Klay Thompson and then play them tonight with JD and tomorrow right here on the shows. 7:34 p.m. We go now live with my brother from another mother. You can catch him every single Sunday on NBC Sports Bay Area with Dante Whitner and yours truly on 49ers pre- and post-game live. He has been doing it for over 67 years. He looks very young for a man his age. Rod Brooks joins the show. What's up, brother?
You know what? I'm just glad you remember my name.
Yeah, Roderick Brooks. Did you recover from the Texans' god-awful loss against the Lions? Are you okay?
What you talking about?
Are you
talking about having a memory of a gopher?
Okay. Yeah, you forgot about it. All right.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. See how easy that is?
All right. So we're going to give you the chance, Rod, before we dive into some Klay and Warriors and Niners. You are a Bay Area media institution. You've done it for over 2 decades here in the Bay. I think you deserve the chance to record your message for Klay Thompson. So in 3, 2, 1, take it away.
It was a pleasure, and it's still a pleasure, quite frankly, to watch you shoot that thing. As much as we love Steph, as much as we love all of the Warriors and all of the guys who have ushered the NBA into where we are right now, love it or hate it, where it is three-point centric, I don't think there is a better shooter of the basketball from an aesthetics point of view than Klay Thompson. It's an absolute pleasure to watch you shoot that thing and wish you many, many more threes. What you were able to do going up against Sacramento, what you were able to do in Game 6, which is my favorite Klay memory of all time in Oklahoma City, will absolutely never be duplicated. As a fan of the sport, as a fan of the game of basketball, the ability to watch you shoot and how pure and how beautiful that is, I appreciate that. So thank you, Klay, and keep it going for another 5 years. How about it?
That is Rod Brooks' message. So we got 3 now in the recording tape and the gift. We're going to give the audio gift we're giving Klay Thompson once the show is done. Remember, the phone number is 415-808-5627. That's 415-808-KNBR. You can call in right now, and we're going to record on air your live message for Klay Thompson. You can say whatever you want. Thank you. I want to cry. I miss you so much. Thank you for the rings. Whatever you want to tell Klay. We're going to record it and then play it for him to listen, so you cannot miss this chance. On a scale of 1 to 10, Rod, how weird does Klay look in that Dallas uniform?
150,000.
Oh, man. It's never not going to be weird.
No, it's always going to be weird. I mean, and even though we are so used to, as sports fans and observers, we're used to guys moving around. That's just the way it is in all of the sports because of free agency and trades, and I have no problem with that. I'm all about player empowerment. I'm all about players moving. Man, when you see those institutions move, when you see those, it's like, I don't know if you've ever been to Washington, D.C.,
yes,
but it's like the Lincoln Memorial.
Yep.
On the other side of the reflection pond.
Yeah.
It would just be weird. Yeah, sure, there's the memorial, but why is it on the other side instead of where it's been for God knows how many years? Yeah, it's weird to see, but that's just the name of the game. And you know, as I said in the message, I'm just happy that he can still play. Because let's keep it a buck, man. That dude, he tore his knee up and he tore his Achilles tendon up service to the Golden State Warriors. Yes, he was being handsomely compensated. Yes, that was his job. But the fact that he is still able to play basketball and he's able to do it in a place where he can find joy in playing basketball in Dallas this year. And again, we got to keep it real. We got to keep it right. He didn't enjoy playing basketball with the Warriors last year for a variety of circumstances. But, hey, man, that's just the way it goes. The fact that he can still play, he can still shoot, and he's doing it with the Mavericks. I don't want the Mavericks to win, but I want Klay to win.
Right.
He's winning by still being able to play basketball. And, man, that just on a human level makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that he has not done well lately, I mean, he began really well this season, then he kind of took a dive. As of this moment, Klay Thompson this season is shooting at 35.4% three. He is a career 41% shooter, so he's well below his career average. I don't think that's going to last. I think at some point
I don't either.
He'll go back to the 40-ish realm of three-point shooting. He is that good of a shooter. I think it's more of a thing of timing, getting used to playing with a new – I mean, he's played his entire career under one system, pretty much one coach when you take away the Mark Jackson years, but pretty much one system, the same two teammates next to him and Steph and Draymond. The cast around him has changed pretty much, but the system hasn't. It's just going to take some time for him to get used to the city, the weather, everything, the new environment, the new Jason Kidd rotations, the scheme that Kidd plays in Dallas, even though it seems to be somewhat catered to what he did with Golden State and Kerr. They're trying to do some of the same motions and pins and screening and getting him on the corner so he can have the shorter triple. But it's just going to take some time for him to just go back to being the best Klay possible, don't you think?
He started slow with the Warriors,
Yep.
and then he shot his way out of it. I don't think it's going to be any different with the Mavericks. He's just going to be wearing a different uniform. That's it. That's all.
Going back to the uniforms, before we dive into some more into Klay, Rod Brooks is joining us here on the show on Sports Phone KNBR. I was doing just going through my mental Rolodex of players that you had thought were going to retire with one team, and then for, them trying to extend their careers, thinking that they weren't done, wanting a new adventure, whatever the case may be, money, financials, new structure, new GM, new coach. There's so many things that can affect the career path of a player. Some names come to mind. I mean, Patrick Ewing wearing a Magic uniform was god-awful. that was one. I'm not a Knicks fan, and that made me want to puke. That was horrible. Do you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree.
Right.
I'd forgotten about it until you mentioned it.
All
But
right.
now that picture pops into my mind, and he's wearing that pinstripe Magic uniform. Yeah, I have to laugh about it because it was so absurd.
Okay, this will hit you home. Hakeem wearing the Toronto Raptors purple was absolutely disgusting.
I knew you were going there, and that's exactly what came into my mind right after you mentioned Patrick Ewing as a member of the Orlando Magic.
I mean, people might not know this, but you're from Houston, Texas, so I assume you grew up a Rockets fan and very much a Hakeem fan. How did that hit you, and how do you compare Hakeem going from Houston to Toronto to this move of Klay going to Dallas?
Okay, now see, here's where I think I'm different than a lot of people now. I don't really get all excited about finishing their career with one team. If it happens, great. More than likely, it's not going to happen because of what I just mentioned before. You have this is an era now, and we've really had it now for the past 30 years, maybe even more, of player empowerment. If they want to go elsewhere, they're going to go elsewhere via free agency, via sort of forcing a trade, as we see a lot in the NBA. So whether a player spends his entire career with one team, it's just not my type of hype. It doesn't necessarily get me all excited. I'm more of a realist when it comes to more than likely your favorite player is not going to finish his career with the same team. I think Steph will be one of the exceptions, but Steph is one of the exceptions. Everyone else, it's open season. And I don't blame the players for that. I don't even necessarily blame the system for that.
Right.
That's just the way it is, in my estimation.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple names before we just close the book on the Klay and Warriors debate for now. We have to dive into some 49ers. Some big news broke today in the afternoon. This guy, he wasn't a lifer, but him in this particular uniform was so strange. I mean, Shaq should have never, ever worn the Celtics jersey. And I grew up being a Celtics fan.
That's the third one.
Wait.
That's after Ewing. That's after Olajuwon. Is Shaq wearing that? And I don't know which was more ghastly. I don't know if the Celtics white, what used to be their home white.
Yeah.
Now it's they wear any type of uniform they want to, which just like player movement, I guess I'm all right with. But I don't know what was worse, seeing Shaq wearing that Celtics white or seeing him wearing that Celtics green.
Oh, they were both horrible.
It was horrible.
Both. Just a quick wrap up. I mean, Dwayne Wade in the Cavalier uniform was a tragedy. Allen Iverson wearing the Memphis uniform was not good. Jason Kidd now coaching the Mavericks and Klay. When he went to the Knicks, was like, what? He's going to go where and do what again? Pippen with the Rockets and even Portland was off. But to me, the biggest one, and we all know why he did it and why it happened. MJ wearing the Wizards uniform, even though I know it's MJ and he is the biggest, he is the GOAT, he is Black Jesus, as someone donned him once. That was just absolutely like, what? That doesn't fit. It looks awful.
It was crazy. In the Seattle Seahawks uniform when he was at the absolute tail end of his career, but Mike was still giving folks buckets wearing that Wizards outfit. That was when Mike man game down to an absolute science. That mid-range was untouchable, and he was still giving folks 20, 30, sometimes 40 points a night.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rod Brooks joining here on the show. We're talking Klay Thompson now as the Warriors are beating the Mavericks 33-27. And Klay just made his first three-pointer of the game. And Luka tries one from half court and misses it. So 33-27, the Dubs up after one. Klay Thompson scored a three-pointer and a couple of free throws. A very emotional night tonight at Chase Center. We saw both Klay guarding Steph and Steph guarding Klay. Those are words I don't think anyone thought we were ever utter in the history of basketball, but that's what happened.
Speaking of weird, yeah.
Yeah,
right?
speaking of weird. Let's switch to 49ers, Rod. You and I cover the team for NBC Sports Bay Area. Tonight we saw some significant news in the afternoon. The Niners, out of nowhere, really, because we weren't expecting that to happen at least this week. Not that it wasn't going to happen, but maybe the timing was what caught everyone off guard. The Niners extend Diamador Lenore for 5 years and $92 million. He becomes the 12th highest paid cornerback in the league in a per annual base salary scale. What do you think about the move?
Oh, I think it's awesome for two reasons. First off, let's shout out Diamador Lenore. Whatever you need him to do, he's going to do it, and he's going to do it well. You need him to play outside, he's going to do that. You need him to play inside, he's going to do that. You need him to tackle, he's going to do that. You need him to stop the run. I mean, just think about the couple of big run stops he had in the game against Tampa a few days ago. He's going to do that. He's going to talk mucho in the process, and he's going to back it up. If you're not going to pay Diamador Lenore, who you going to pay? So they did the right thing by paying him. But here's the other part. Of the fact that the Niners, I don't know if it's necessarily that they learned their lesson or they're doing things differently, but isn't it nice that they did the right and obvious thing, which is giving Lenore his money, getting him in the mix, and not having this thing drag out into the offseason and having it drag out into training camp and having it drag out into the preseason games, as we've seen with Ayuk, as we saw with Bosa, as we saw with Debo. Again, I don't know if this is the Niners kind of changing the way they go about doing things when it comes to contract extensions and renegotiations and what have you. But it got tiresome.
Yeah.
Especially with the Ayuk thing. And I get it, man. Business is business. I completely get it. It got tiresome with Ayuk. It was exhausting when it came to Bosa. It was just like, are we really doing this when it came to Debo? So the fact that we, as fans, we don't have to think, well, when are they going to sign Ayuk? Is the price tag going up? What's the problem? What the fact that they got it out of the way, that's my favorite part about it. I love that Lenore got his money, but I like the fact that the Niners took care of business. He could play football, and they can now move on to other things, which is getting that Purdy deal taken care of, hopefully sooner rather than later.
That is Rod Brooks joining us here on Sports Phone KNBR. So on a total contract value scale, Diamador Lenore becomes the sixth highest paid corner in football just by the totality of the contract. 5 years, $92 million. He's only behind Denzel Ward of Cleveland, Marshawn Lattimore now, or with the Washington Commanders, Marlon Humphrey of Baltimore, Trayvon Diggs from Dallas, and Patrick Surtain II from Denver. So they're all in the same age range. Diamador is even 1 year older, 25, than Surtain, 2 older than Humphrey. He is the same age as Trayvon Diggs. Now, if you go by an average salary per year average, he is the 12th highest paid corner behind Ramsey, Surtain, Jair, Terrell, Ward, Lattimore, Humphrey, Diggs, Campbell, Snead, Johnson, Lenore. And in the future, I'm going to guess, and this is, I don't think, a wild guess, Sauce Gardner is going to be up there as well. Mm-hmm. So do you think the money is, how to put it, is the contract reflective of what the talent that he has put on tape this season? Should he be the 12th best per year corner in the league in terms of average salary?
Hey, man, let me tell you something. Anytime you could be the 12th best, especially when it comes to getting paid, out of, I mean, how many cornerbacks would you think are in the league? You know, over 100? Yeah, man, sign me up. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. So
I mean, I personally think he's better than some of the guys you know. So Tatum's that dude. He's the guy. In my estimation, he's the absolute best in the league. I know he's better than Trayvon Diggs. See what I'm saying? See what I did there? I just, in my estimation, I think he's better than some of the guys.
Yeah, Tyson Campbell's good. He's had an off year with the Jacksonville Jaguars so far.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to necessarily throw shade on him.
Yeah, no.
Again, what I said about Diggs is what you need him to do.
Yeah.
Outside, he's gonna lock that up. You think about what he did to DK Metcalf a few weeks ago, and think about how he's getting ready for that matchup right now coming up on Sunday. So he can handle a guy like DK Metcalf. He can handle shifty dudes in the slot. And like I said, there's not a lot of guys who like to tackle the way that he does, and especially not a lot of guys who play the star cornerback position and they want to get there and stop the run like he does. So, you might be saying he's underpaid, but I love the fact that both parties came together, kind of got this out of the way. Let's just keep it pushing, man, because the Niners have some, they got some very important games to play starting this Sunday against Seattle.
Before that, Rod, what does this mean for the future roster construction and configuration of the 49ers? Because, and I know at this point in time, the last thing on Mooney Ward's mind is his future because of the tragedy he just went through with the loss of his daughter. But if we circle back into the football realm, this seems, at least I think this means that Mooney Ward will not come back as a 49er, that Renardo Green and Lenore and what Yadam has given them this year, if he comes back, has John Lynch and Shanahan with plenty trust on them to at least occupy the main spots in that DB room. But there's also questions like, what does this mean for, I don't know, Debo in the future and other players? What do you think? What's the trickle-down effect is my question of this Demo Lenore contract in your eyes?
I think that the trickle-down effect is they have a number on Purdy, and they feel good about that number, and they're going to get that taken care of. I think in some way, shape, or form, and maybe I'm not articulating it the way that I should, but I think that for the deal getting done right now, I think you could draw a straight line from that to what they're going to do with Purdy, as I said, hopefully sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree.
Nothing but prayers and just nothing but the best of thoughts in the most difficult of times for Charvarius Ward and his family. I'm going to steer clear of that just for the obvious reasons. And I'll say this. And when I was on KNBR with my man Murph a couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to talk to John Lynch. And that's right when the Lenore news hit.
Yeah.
I said to him, I'm like, to try and make a very difficult transition here, you guys have a lot of depth, young depth, but you guys have a lot of depth in that defensive back room. And it seems to me that is giving you guys the ability to tell Charvarius, take as much time as you need for you and your family, which is the most important thing. So I say all that to say this. What it shows is that the Niners have that DB room locked up with some young studs. Because that now it's Ward is there, and he's coming back, but Nore's your dude going forward, however long forward is. Green, as you mentioned, I mean, look at Pro Football Focus's ratings. Every game that Green has been able to play, man, bam, he's up there on that list, just rating higher and higher and higher. Now, Mustafa is a very, very, very good player. So what this says to me is that Nore's the future, and he's going to be that dude that leads a very good and talented young group of defensive backs, and I think the Niners are really set at that position, particularly cornerback.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what this means for guys like Hufanga going forward. And again, I go back to Debo. What's going to happen in the future with him? What's going to happen in the future with Dre Greenlaw's contract coming back from an injury? There's a lot of roster gymnastics and financial gymnastics, and if one team is really good at it, and I mean Simone Biles good at this kind of gymnastics, is the San Francisco 49ers. You brought up this.
You can read between the lines as to what what's going to happen.
Yep.
And it might not necessarily shake out that way, but it sure seems like there's going to be some sort of turnover and the Niners have set themselves up with young players, in that defensive backfield to handle that turnover.
Yeah. That's a great point. Rod Brooks joining us here on the show. Quick minutes before we let him go. Tonight on Klay Thompson night, you said the Niners face Seattle up next. And this, Rod, I think this is a huge game for several reasons. One, it's the post-Lenore contract game, so he's going to want to go out there and ball. Two, it's a home game after what we saw in Tampa where they almost botched another game due to special teams, and we saw the whole Deebo Samuel, Tiber Pepper, Jake Moody thing that was a thing that apparently wasn't a thing because they squashed it. We'll see how squashed it comes when Sunday hits the road and we see it on the schedule. But looking at this specific Seahawks team, they have Niners on the road, then they have Arizona at home, so back-to-back NFC West games for the Seahawks. They go to New York to face an awful Jets team before they go back into the desert and face Arizona. If the Niners beat, as we all expect them to do, the Seahawks at home, this might be, if not a death blow, a pretty significant punch in the gut for this Seahawks team. And you're taking one out of the three teams left in the division out of the race pretty much.
No, I mean, the Niners can be the team that accelerates Seattle's push over the cliff. And I think they're primed to do that. Seattle is coming off a bye, but their defensive backfield, specifically Seattle's, I think they just don't match up well with what the Niners do in their passing game. And now with the Niners having Pearsall mix, now they got McCaffrey back, even more in the mix. Jawan Jennings is now the number one guy in that receiving core, and obviously what they have with George Kittle. This has been a bad matchup for Seattle against the Niners passing game for the last couple of years. That's not going to change between now and coming up on Sunday. And on the flip side of that, Geno Smith is a nice story, man, but he
ain't it.
He's going to throw 2 touchdowns, and he's going to throw 2 interceptions. He's going to throw 2 touchdowns, and he's going to throw 3 interceptions. And the Niner defensive backfield, as we talked about, these dudes are feeling froggy. They feeling good, and they're near the top in picking off opposing passes this year, just as they were last year. Seattle, Niners, bad matchup for Arizona. I should say Arizona's a bad matchup for the Niners. I think it's a bad matchup for Arizona just because of what they could do with their pass defense. So I don't expect for that to change at all.
Yeah, I agree. Just for memory's sake, before we let you go now, Rod, and thank you for the time, the Niners already beat the Seahawks 36-24. Brock Purdy had a great game, 18 of 28, 255 on the year, 3 tutties, no picks. Guerrero went off with 99 yards on the ground. Deebo had a monster game, 3 receptions, 102 and a tutty. So I can see this kind of similar game with insert McCaffrey and Guerrero's role and what Jordan Mason did that game when he got hurt, and then Guerrero stepped in for the hurt J.P. Mason with the shoulder. And I think we're going to see the same this weekend. Rod, thank you so much for joining us, brother. We'll see you on Sunday on NBC Sports Bay Area. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
All right, man. Be good. Have a great night.
That's Rod Brooks joining us here on Sports Phone KNBR. Quick break here on the show. When we come back, your calls. Remember, we're taping it. We're recording it. It's your opportunity to call in and leave a message of thank you, a gift from you, the Bay Area fans, for Klay Thompson. Record it. We're going to play them so he can hear him and say thank you to Klay Thompson. The number is 415-808-5627. 415-808-KNBR. Quick break. More of your calls, more of your messages for Klay Thompson on the other side.
Sub Nation, dial the digits and dive in. 415-808-KNBR. Sports Phone KNBR continues right here and on the all-new KNBR app.
They pop him again. Klay again, his three. 48-35 in the quarter. Well, if you're wondering what the NBA record is for most points in a quarter, you just watched it. George Gervin at 33 and a quarter. And Klay Thompson has 50 and 37 in a quarter. Klay Thompson, I'm going to repeat that, 37 in a quarter.
Yep, that was history made. One of many historic episodes and chapters that Klay Thompson wrote in blue and gold with the Golden State Warriors. Klay Thompson, now member of the Dallas Mavericks, who have turned this game around, folks. The Dubs won the first quarter 33-27. Now the Mavericks, in a 21-8 run in the second quarter, have taken a 48-41 lead over the Dubs. Remember, the theme tonight is you, the fans. You, the Bay Area fans. We're recording your messages for Klay Thompson, your thank you messages, whatever you want to tell him. This is your chance. We're opening up the line so you can call in and record a very special, be brief, message for Klay Thompson. What do you want to tell him? Thank you. Whatever. I miss you. You look weird in that uniform. All the best. Please come back. That's a topic we're going to address later with John Dickinson when he joins the show. So the number is 415-808-5627. Remember, 415-808-KNBR. We've gotten several messages now. It's your chance. It's not every day you get a chance to call in to the best sports radio station in the Bay Area and record a message for Klay Thompson. Then we're going to play him over and over and over so that he can hear him, and he'll for sure get those messages. John Dickinson will join the show. The second the game goes to halftime, we're going to call John to get the vibes from inside Chase Center on the night that Klay Thompson came back. So far, he's played 14 minutes. He is 3 for 6, 3 for 5 in three-pointers. He's got 11 points, and the plus-minus is at +8. For Klay Thompson, 3 rebounds, a couple assists, and a turnover. So far, so good for Klay. The leading scorer, as it usually is for the Mavericks, is Luka Doncic, 18 points at +7. He is 7 of 12 with a couple of rebounds and also 2 assists. On the Warriors side, it is Steph Curry leading the pack with 12 points, followed by DeAnthony Melton with 9, and 5 by Draymond Green. On the bench, active as always, that second unit, even the third one. For the Dubs, 5 points for Buddy Hield, 4 for Jonathan Kuminga, 2 for Looney, and also for Moses Moody. So far, no sighting of Podziemski, -13 in 8 minutes on the floor. And Andrew Wiggins is 1 for 3 with 2 points and plus-minus of +4. Before we go to basketball, the Diamador Lenore news is really important. It's highly significant because, as Rod pointed out, and if you were busy today or not paying attention to the news cycle, which is pretty moving throughout the day, the 49ers extended Diamador Lenore today to a 5-year, $92 million contract extension. And as the great Matt Mayoko writes on NBCSportsBayArea.com, the timing of the contract is meaningful. It's important because there's risk involved for both sides, for both parties, meaning the 49ers and Lenore himself. But in the end, you're getting a player who wants to stay with the team, a team who wants to renew such player. He is willing to take a haircut, a discount, by not going to free agency, but he is also securing and locking up significant money and securing a future for himself and avoiding any downgrades in payment or possible contract negotiations that could happen or ensue for either injury, knock on wood doesn't happen, or a downgrade of production. Because Lenoir was scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent this offseason. And what the 49ers have done now is secure his services for the next 5 years at a rate of, well, like we just said, he is the 12th best paid cornerback in an average per year salary. And that number will continue to go down as the contract moves forward. He's not the best paid. He's not the highest paid. He is the sixth. He's got the sixth total contract, but the 12th highest average annual value, AAV. So what this means is pretty much he secured his future. The 49ers lock up their number one cornerback for the future and avoid going on the free agent market having to compete against other teams that would have absolutely driven up the price tag for Lenoir. So it's a win-win situation. Lenoir locks up the rest of the season and his future no matter what happens this year. Again, injury or downtick in production. He is here to stay as a 49er. The Niners are paying top market value, but not the highest in that specific position market. And they're getting a young 25-year-old cornerback to lock up that neighborhood for the next foreseeable future. Now, what does this mean? And this is the big question now that the 49ers have to address in this offseason. What does this mean for other pieces? What is the domino effect? What is the trickle-down effect of this movement, of this extension for players like Charvarius Ward? And again, we understand the situation. Our hearts go out to him, his family, for the tragedy they're right now surviving, the loss of their daughters. And we know football is not their priority right now for Mooney Ward and his family. We understand it. But he is a football player, and he does need to provide for his family and his friends and himself. It is his career at the end of the day. And when the situation moves on and the future happens and gets here, there will have to be a decision made by both him, his agent, and the 49ers. And this move the Niners make to bring back Lenoir, to extend him to that 5-year, $92 million contract, appears to signal that Mooney Ward has played or will play this year, his final year as a 49er. And that both Lenoir, Green, Renardo, and a combination of whatever free agents come in the future and draft picks will be the guys manning up that cornerback room for the 49ers. But that's not the only one, because I'm pretty sure someone out there will offer Mooney Ward a significant contract. And I really hope he comes back this year, that he plays to the best of his abilities so that he can secure the best possible contract for himself, his family, and loved ones. That is the absolute truth. But there are other names. What about Dre Greenlaw? He hasn't played yet. He's coming off a significant injury, that Achilles tear, and he's in a contract year. We know what he means to this team. But there's a reality as well. The 49ers just can't pay everyone. What is his market value? What should and will he make? Those are two different things. And if we rank it by different status or contracts, let's just go right now to linebackers and see who are the top paid linebackers in football right now. Let's just find that number. So the highest paid linebacker right now that qualifies as a linebacker is TJ Watt. And in terms of cap hit, let's go contract value. The highest paid linebacker right now in football is Joshua Hines Allen by Jacksonville, making $141 million. Brian Burns, TJ Watt, Bradley Chubb, Roquan Smith. Fred Warner is 7th, making $92.2 million. That is the contract value. So the 49ers have the 6th highest contract value in corner and the 7th highest in linebacker and Fred Warner. Where does he fit? Where is the market setting Dre Greenlaw's value? Well, that depends on two things: his health and how well he plays this year if and when he comes back. And we expect him to be back anywhere in December is the date or the month that we have heard. We've talked to Matt Mayoko several times about it. That's the date the 49ers seem to expect Dre Greenlaw to be back. But there's another variable in this equation, and that is the market. Because there's going to be a desperate team out there that thinks that Dre Greenlaw, for whatever he does this year, will be perhaps worth more than what the 49ers offer. And if that happens, then it's up to Greenlaw to say, I want more money. If it's a bad team, I don't care if I'm not going to ever play another Super Bowl again. Or I'm willing to take a haircut and stay with the 49ers for a couple more years, finish my career here, if that's the case, and tandem up with Fred Warner and still be the best linebacker duo in football. So that's what's on the horizon. That's the ripple effect, the repercussions of this Diamador Lenore contract that he got today, 5 years, $92 million. That's one name. Well, guess what? Hufanga's up to. And he's in a similar boat as Dre Greenlaw. He has played this year. His play wasn't big in terms of time or productivity, production. He was hurt, and he got hurt again. And then there's Aaron Banks, the guard, which I think would be a less complicated contract to negotiate for the 49ers. I don't know the market. We should see. I wouldn't expect Banks to be a highly touted free agent. He's been good, not great for the 49ers, and just basing it off of what Dominic Pooney has done this year, he has been tremendous. So we'll see. Decisions will be made, and those are the repercussions. But for now, the 49ers celebrate that they have their lockdown cornerback for the future and Diamador Lenore, and they didn't have to break the bank. It's a big contract, but it's not rendering them, it's not handcuffing the 49ers for what they have to do in the future, and that is now the contract of Brock Purdy. Dubs are down now 5, 59-54 with 1:22 left in the second quarter. Let's take a quick break here on the show. When we come back, if it's halftime, we're going to be joined by John Dickinson at halftime of the Warriors game. JD will join us to get some vibes, get a reaction, and what's happening at Chase Center. Remember the number, 415-808-5627. Call in and leave your message for Klay Thompson right here on Sports Phone KNBR. I am Carlos Ramirez. We'll be right back.
The nighttime is the right time for Sports Phone KNBR. Let's go on the sports leader. Streaming live on YouTube at KNBR 1045.
It's always hard to imagine that, and then it's hard to visualize it. It's hard to actually see it. What happened? I mean, this is sports, right? I mean, how often do guys finish their career in the same place? It's very, very rare. We don't like thinking about it because when we get emotional and we get attached to our favorite players or people we've watched succeed and we get close to and we get to know them, it's almost like this emotional loss when these people leave a market.
That was Bob Myers speaking about the departure of Klay Thompson. Yeah, the Kobe's are few and far between. The Dirk Nowitzki's of the world don't come up that often. And I think Steph will be one of those. I think Draymond will be one of those. Klay just wasn't. And now we go live to Chase Center inside the Beast in a couple of minutes to hear from John Dickinson. He is inside Chase Center to give us the vibe of what's happening so far. The Dubs are down 4, 63-59. For the Mavericks, Luka Doncic has gone off. 22 points in the half, 9 of 17 shooting, 2 for 2 free throws. Not good from beyond the arc, 2 for 7. 3 boards, 3 assists, couple steals, 1 turnover. The plus-minus is +6. Now, the second best scorer for the Mavericks is not Kyrie Irving. He's got 8 points. It's Klay Thompson with 11. His former number as a Warrior. He is not wearing number 11 because that is Kyrie's number in Dallas. And so he chose his childhood heroes or favorite player when he was a kid, his number growing up, and that was Reggie Miller, who is tonight calling the game on TNT. So he's got 11. On the Dub side, Steph's got 14, backed up by De'Anthony Melton's 9, and Jonathan Kuminga's 9 off the bench. Draymond's got 8. So far, the bench production has been good for the Dubs. 9 for Kuminga, 2 for Looney, 7 for Buddy Hield, and 2 for Moses Moody. Meanwhile, the bench for the Mavs has been non-existent. This has been the problem this year. One of the problems for the Mavericks, their bench is giving them little to no production so far. Lively coming back has given them 8 points and 3 for Quentin Grimes. And with that, we go now live with John Dickinson. He is inside Chase Center for what's been a historic moment here in the Bay Area. Klay Thompson's welcome back moment. JD, welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. Give us your emotions and how the building feel when that announcement happened. Walk us through the moment, the video, the announcement, the excitement when Klay got introduced. JD, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks, Carlos. It was absolutely electric inside Chase Center. I think it's as hyped as the building has been maybe since the 2022 NBA Finals. I think up there would be maybe that first-round series in 2023 against the Kings after the Warriors got down 2-0, then came home, they won Game 3. The Sunday afternoon game, Game 4, when the Warriors tied the series and it went right down to the final shot, it was pretty electric on that Sunday afternoon. But, I mean, there has just been an energy to the building that's just, as it started to fill up in the 5 o'clock hour and leading towards 6 and tip-off, and everybody kind of knew what was coming with all the captain's hats. And just, you know, Klay, I think, has absorbed it in the proper way to where all of the energy truly has been positive. I mean, it was an ovation for the ages, honestly. And I think, you know, he appreciated it and has welcomed it and has been warm to it. And I think it's just created – it really has unlocked, Carlos, I think 3 of the all-time great competitors, just guys who, and I'm talking about Steph, Draymond, Klay, and I think Luka even is joining that party a little bit, being one of the other superstars in the game, and it's just led to a phenomenal back and forth, highly competitive, intense atmosphere that you really don't see a lot in the NBA night to night this early in the season.
That's well said, JD. Give me the vibes every time Klay scores a three-pointer.
Yeah, Klay, when he hit the back-to-back threes, there were audible audible cheers. And look, Klay even gave a shimmy. He gave a little mini Steph shimmy after hitting a three. And one of the more fascinating matchups of the first half has been the times that Steph and Klay have been matched up against each other. And Steph's made multiple defensive plays against Klay. One where he stripped him and then took a pull-up three that he actually airballed. Steph took him to the basket and drew a foul. And that would have been an and one, but Steph actually missed the free throw right before halftime. But Steph's made multiple defensive plays against Klay Thompson as well. But no, when Klay has made a play himself, especially when he hit the back-to-back threes, where there was that audible, like is a couple of threes going to turn into 6 or 7?
Right. Because
Warrior fans know that he can get cooking at any moment.
Right, so the game's at halftime with John Dickinson. He is inside Chase Center. It's 63-59 Mavericks. What do the Warriors need to do, JD, in the second half to turn this around?
Yeah, the bench group really at the beginning of the second quarter is what flipped the game. The Mavs had a bench group with Luka Doncic out there and some other guys, and the Warriors bench group for as good as they've been overall this year. That group really had trouble defending the Mavs, and that's where the game took a turn. Starters, it's been pretty even, and/or maybe in the Warriors' favor, basically back and forth. But it's been the Mavs with a couple of starters out there with a couple of bench guys that have really flipped it. So I think they got to get back. It may be an issue of Steve Kerr needing to shorten the rotation a little bit. It wasn't the best Brandon Pajemski first half, and he really hasn't played as well since he was sick on that last road trip.
Yep.
I think the Warriors missed Kyle Anderson tonight, to be honest. I mean, he's somebody who went out it was a late scratch due to back spasms. I think they miss his defense and just overall basketball IQ. Primarily as a wing defender against this Mavs team that has some wings. Yeah. They're constantly putting pressure on you in the pick and roll, and they like to set up their bigs for easy buckets on the interior. Rough Trace Jackson-Davis half. Yeah. So we'll see if Steve Kerr looks to go small. I think he's going to look to go small. Kuminga at the 4, Draymond more at the 5, and it's about finding, Steph and Wiggins are going to be out there. Who's that fifth guy going to be if Kuminga and Draymond are finishing with Steph and Wiggins? I think they'd like for it to be DeAnthony Melton. And DeAnthony Melton was somebody who played well in the first half. But no, I think they got to be better defensively. This has looked more like last year's defense than this year's defense in the early part of the year. So they got to be more sound against the Dallas Mavericks in their pick and roll game.
JD, I'm going to be honest. Final one for you, and thank you for the time. You can catch JD on Warriors or Dubs OT. Once the game is over, we're going to go. This time, Sports Phone will go up until the final buzzer in Chase, and we're going to hand it over to JD live from Chase Center for Dubs OT on a very special night. When Mike Kohler told me to host the show tonight, I was hesitant because I wanted to be there in person for everything that Klay is, for the meaning. How meaningful the game would be, but also JD, every chance I get to watch Luka Doncic play live, it's a chance, and Steph, but I can watch Steph, 41 times a year here at home, but Luka doesn't do that very often. What impresses you about watching a guy like Luka Doncic live, JD?
Just the way that he controls the game. Like I think that he controls the pace of the game. Yeah. Everybody's kind of playing it at his pace. If he wants to speed it up, he speeds it up. If he wants to slow it down, he slows it down. He's just in complete command of the game. When he's got the ball in his hands, and everything truly filters through him, and if he needs a playoff, then maybe it filters through Kyrie Irving. But Luka's the guy who's determining it. He was spectacular in the first half with 22 points, and he didn't even shoot the three ball well. The Warriors will give him some threes sometimes, trusting that he's going to be a guy that can miss a couple. And he's 2 for 7, but he's 7 for 10 on twos, and so that's been more than enough. With the usual assist and rebounding numbers to go with that. And he really took the game over along with that bench group at the beginning of the second quarter.
All right, that's John Dickinson live from Chase Center. Once the game is over, Sports Phone KNBR will go until the final buzzer, and then we're going to hand it over to JD live inside Chase for another edition of Dubs OT. JD, great work as always.
And Carlos, I appreciate you. I just want to jump in real quick. We're going to be at Harmonic Brewing in Thrive City.
There you go.
Tonight as well. So and I stepped out for a minute to kind of check in with the folks at Harmonic and talk to you. But yeah, Harmonic Brewing, Thrive City. Stop by and say hi if you're in the area. And again, as always, I'll buy you around if you stop by and you.
I might stop by.
I heard you at Carlos.
I might stop by.
Carlos.
I might
buy
stop
me a
by.
brew.
I might do that myself. After an hour and 40,
well, my friend.
I was stuck in traffic an hour and 40 minutes, JD, to get to the station today. That was fun. Yeah.
Wow, I've been there, brother. I've been there, my man. I've been there.
All right. JD, take care. Great job as always, brother.
All right. Thanks, Carlos.
John Dickinson live from Chase Center. You can catch him at Dubs OT every single night after a Warriors game right here on KNBR. So remember, the theme tonight is we're opening up the phones for you on a Warriors/Klay Thompson edition of Sports Phone. We're opening up the phones for you to leave a message for Klay Thompson, a thank you note, a salutation. You want to give him your fondest memory of Klay Thompson wearing the Golden State Warriors uniform, whatever you want to tell them. And we're going to record that message on air. You're going to go on air. Record it like Louie is about to do right now. Louie, welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. The floor is yours. What is your message for Klay Thompson?
37:57. Thank you.
Oh, I thought he was going to call me while you were doing it.
Hey, Louie. You there?
Oh, hi.
Hi, Louie.
My name's Lily.
Louie, right?
Lily.
Oh, Lily. See, Lily, I'm sorry. My producer,
okay,
which will remain unnamed, his name is Kyle Har, told me your name was Louie. And now I'm looking like an idiot here. So let's go. Let's rewind this. Lily, welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. How are you?
Yeah, hi, I'm good.
How old are you, Lily?
I'm 10 years old.
Oh, you're 10. I have a 9-year-old daughter. So I know how you... Do you love basketball, Lily?
Yeah, that's fine.
Huh?
Do you love basketball?
Yeah.
Do you want to leave a message for Klay Thompson?
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead.
I just want to thank Klay for just being such a great player, and I just want to tell him that I don't think I will ever get used to his jersey.
Lily, that's a great... Is that your dad on the phone?
Yeah.
Put your dad on the phone, too. He can leave a message for Klay as well.
Hey, Captain Klay, we just want to say thank you, and you'll always have love out here in the Bay, no matter what jersey you got on. Just keep it up. Good dude, spreading good vibes all the time.
Hey, man, what's your name?
Oh, my name's Matt.
Matt, thank you for that. Listen, I'm guessing you're one to watch the Dubs games. I'm just guessing here with Lily. Is that the case?
Yeah, we are.
All right. So I'm going to tell you a story, and I would love to hear if this resonates with you and Lily. My daughter loves the Warriors. She's nuts about every single sports team in the Bay Area, but specifically about the 49ers and the Warriors. She cried in the Super Bowl. We all did. But she didn't know. She doesn't follow the news. And I had to go home the day Klay signed with the Mavericks and break the news to her that Klay wasn't playing with the Warriors anymore. And when I told her that, I had to see my 8-year-old daughter, Matt, cry, literally cry, because her favorite Warrior, Klay Thompson, was a Warrior no more. How did that news hit you both?
We were more mad than anything at first. That was our initial natural reaction, and then we were just happy that he was making a move that he felt was right for him.
All right, Matt, I'm going to ask you a question for you both and Lily to let you go. Do you both think that maybe after Klay Thompson's deal with the Mavericks is done, he'll come back to the Warriors and retire, maybe play just one last year as a Dub?
I think it's not a bad idea. What do you think, Lily?
I'm just hoping, honestly.
All right, Matt, Lily, thank you so much for dialing in and leaving your message for Klay Thompson. Thank you so much for both your love for basketball and Klay and for chiming in tonight on Sports Phone. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Lily and her father, Matt, joining us here on Sports Phone KNBR. That's a true story, Kyle. By the way, thank you. I'm calling a little girl Lily, calling her Louie. Looking like an idiot here. Hey, Louie, my name is Lily. Oh, I'm sorry. Kyle just, made a boo-boo. Made a mistake. Yeah, it happens. Everyone's allowed to make mistakes. By the way, third quarter is underway. The Mavs are up 63-59 in the third at Chase Center. And Klay Thompson almost scored an alley-oop. And if that happened, we're all going to die if that happened. So that was a true story, Kyle. I work in news, in sports news, and my daughter doesn't. She's 9. She was 8 at the time. And my daughter loves Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, but specifically Klay because Klay was in NBA and Space Jam 2, the hideous LeBron James version of what Michael Jordan truly made a classic. There is LeBron always trying to match up with MJ and just can't match up. But she loves that movie because there's it's a great movie for kids. And Klay's in that movie, so she loved the fact that one of her own was in that movie. So when I told her, baby, her name is Laura, Lara, Lara. I said, Lara, you're going to be mad. What'd you do, Daddy? No, I didn't do anything. Sure? Yep, I'm sure. What happened? Well, Klay's not going to, Klay? Yeah? What happened? Well, see, he's not going to play with the Warriors anymore. What? What happened? He retired? No, he did. He just went to another team. Why? By the way, Klay just made another 3. Why? So I had to explain to an 8-year-old kid, what, the ins and outs of the NBA and contract negotiations and so on and so forth. And Klay just missed one badly off the glass. I've never, ever, you know what? I just had a weird feeling. And I want fans to chime in and call 415-808-5627. 415-808-KNBR. We're going to go to the text line, the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line, in a minute. I just felt, and I felt it again, for the first, when you experience something for the first time, Kyle, and it hits you weird, I just had that. I just saw Klay Thompson shoot 2 3-pointers from the left side corner, wanting him to miss and being happy that he missed them. Not because I'm rooting against him. I want the Dubs to win. I want him to do good. I want him to score 40. But I also want the Dubs to win the game, and they're in it. There's down 1, 66-65. But I had never, ever, ever felt this way before. Wishing for Klay to miss a shot. That's a first. All right, let's go to the text line, the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line, because people are texting in rapidly to voice their opinion both on Diamador Lenoir's contract and Klay Thompson. On the 4-8, we got a question. How much of Diamador Lenoir's new contract is guaranteed? Fans want to know. It hasn't been yet informed. I haven't found any article yet, Kyle. I don't know if you heard anything, but I haven't found anything or anywhere where it specificates the amount of money that Lenoir will make that is guaranteed. Guaranteed. I haven't seen that yet. When we find it, we will give it to you for sure. More on the text line. Dub Nation salutes the legend Klay. In his return, Dubs lifer. That's on the 415. Number finishes in 1588. There we go. We got more phone calls. This is Sports Phone KNBR. I am Carlos Ramirez. We're taking your calls tonight so you can record a message for Klay Thompson on the air. You're going to go on air, record a message, and then we're going to have a nice conversation about, well, sports. This is a sports station. We have Keith out in Monterey. Keith, welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. The floor is yours. What's your message for Klay Thompson?
I just like to thank Klay Thompson for being the ultimate warrior, bringing us titles, showing class the whole way, and being one of the best ever for the Golden State Warriors. Thank you, Klay Thompson.
That was a great message, Keith. Thank you so much for chiming in. Let me ask you the same question I asked Matt and his daughter Lily a couple of minutes ago. Klay signed a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Mavericks. Do you see any world in where Klay's 3 years are done and he comes back for one last year to retire as a Warrior?
Oh, I think no way. I just think no way. Maybe one game, right? Retire, but I just don't think he's going to. I mean, maybe I think Klay's at 3 years. That's probably about the end of his career.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. One thing on Klay, when they drafted Klay, I was like, wait a minute, Klay Thompson, who's this? And like, oh my gosh, I was hoping for a bigger name. And I've been a Warriors fan all my life. And turns out to be like one of the greatest draft choices ever, ever. And so could be wrong. What do you think? Would you want Klay to come back? I would, but I just can't say that's going to be.
I'd love it. I mean, that's the romantic in me. I would just love it to see Klay come back. And you're talking about that draft class, and it's funny how life works, Keith. We're seeing now the two best members of that draft class playing together. That is the 2011 NBA draft. That draft class was highlighted by Kyrie Irving. He was the number 1 pick that year by the Cleveland Cavaliers out of Duke. But then when you dive into that draft class, it's not a very good draft. I mean, Derek Williams went second, Anis Freedom, formerly known as Anis Cantor, was third, taken by the Jazz. Tristan Thompson, Valanciunas was good, it still is. To be honest, he was the 5th overall pick. Jan Vesely, Bismack Biyombo, Brandon Knight, Kemba Walker, Jimmer Fredette. Well, he was the pick before Klay. Then Klay. Then you go Alex Burks. The Morris brothers were taken back-to-back by Phoenix and Houston, Markieff and Marcus. Kawhi Leonard. So it's Kyrie, Kawhi, Klay, and then a bunch of dudes. I mean, it's not a horrible class. Kenneth Faried was in that class as well. Tobias Harris, Mirotic, Reggie Jackson. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
But to your question, I mean, Klay now is 34. He's in his first year of a 3-year deal. He'll be 35. If he either gets traded back to the Warriors, which I don't see happening, or he plays out his 3 years, and let's say, for the sake of argument, I don't know, the Warriors have a championship caliber team and are in need of a 3-point shooter to come out of the bench and, just stand in the corner and spread the floor out and maybe give him some minutes. Why not? I mean, that again, it's the romantic in me, but I'm with you, Keith. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he would have done that this year, right? If he's just going to.
No,
I mean, it is weird how. Go ahead.
No, I just think he wanted more time. He wanted more years than the Warriors were willing to give him. They offered 2. He wanted 4. Mavericks came in with 3. So, again, it's more of a romantic wish, on my end than something I would actually. If it happens, great, fantastic. I mean, now with sports science and nutrition and new routines and exercise, athletes are lasting longer and going deeper into their careers. So maybe, and Klay he'll shoot the basketball until he's 100. So he'll do that forever. Right. So maybe if there's a need, and I don't even know if is Kerr still with the Warriors, is Steph still with the Warriors? And there's so many questions, right?
Yeah, I don't think in 3 years.
We'll see.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
Yeah. Tell me this real last note here.
Sure.
What do you think Klay's legacy would be if he didn't get injured in the finals?
Wow.
And then also with Jordan Poole too, because it seems like Jordan Poole's payday definitely affected Klay's mentality.
I think Draymond's payday, to be honest, Keith, hurt him more. The fact that the Warriors offered him 2 years and Draymond 3, I think he sees himself or saw himself in the same level, in the same floor as Draymond. And when the Warriors came at him with a 2-year offer, I think he said, this is not, I mean, why are you giving Draymond 4 and me 2? What's the difference here, right? When the Warriors have taken now an 8-point lead, what a swing here in the third quarter for the Dubs. They're up 74-66.
Good news.
Yeah, but I think Klay's legacy isn't hurt by the injuries. I think his presence with the Warriors is hurt by injuries. You know what I'm saying? If Klay hadn't gotten hurt on that fatal dunk attempt against Toronto.
Oh, my God.
And
brutal.
Yeah, and then on that, just dramatic pickup game on draft night when the Warriors drafted Wiseman. That was a double whammy. I mean, they whiffed on Wiseman and then lost Klay on the same day. Talk about a bad day.
Right.
I think if those two things don't happen, Keith, in Monterey, I think Klay would still be a Warrior today.
Right.
That's what I think would have changed. His legacy is untouched. I mean, he won 4 rings. He is, I think, in the Mount Rushmore of Golden State Warriors with Steph and Chris Mullin and Barry. And I think those are, to me, the 4 guys, maybe 5 with you at Draymond, right? But that to me is the line. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Everything you've said, basically, I'm behind. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, Keith.
You had a great show.
Thank you, Keith.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Keith in Monterey. Remember, before we take a break, 415-808-5627 is the number. Don't get left out. It's your opportunity to call in tonight to Sports Phone KNBR and record a live message on the air for Klay Thompson. Those messages, we're going to give them to John Dickinson. He'll play them on Dubs OT after the show. And then tomorrow, all day, you're going to be able to hear him if Murphy and Marcus want to play him, if Papa and Lund want to play him, if Tolbert and Copes want to play him, because this is your show. We're going to record your messages for Klay Thompson. Quick break. We'll be right back with more Sports Phone KNBR on the Sports Leader.
want your reaction, so give us a ring or blow up the text line at 415-808-KNBR. This is Sports Phone KNBR, streaming live at twitch.tv/The Sports Leader.
The number is 415-808-5627, 415-808-KNBR. I am Carlos Ramirez. You're listening to Sports Phone KNBR on the Sports Leader. The Dubs are up 83-76 with 3:50 left in the third quarter on Klay Thompson's night. And so far, it's the Dubs' night. We'll see how that ends. Once this show is over, this show usually goes from 7 p.m. to 9 in the p.m. Not tonight. Tonight, we're working overtime, Kyle. By the way, you've let me alone tonight. Alone.
How so?
This is the first time you've spoken all night long. You're a very well-spoken man. You screwed up tonight and didn't own it. Didn't step up to the mic to say, my bad, Carlos.
Can I say it now?
You can. Go ahead.
My bad, Carlos.
Apologize.
And to Lily.
Yes. And Matt, her father, Matt. See, if you're just tuning in, my great producer, Kyle Haar, he's a great producer. We all make... See, in life, I don't think you make mistakes, Kyle. I teach this to my two daughters. You either succeed or learn. You learned that Lily is not Louie.
That's right.
Yay. So we are taking your phone calls tonight, as always, but it's a very special one tonight because we're taping your messages for Klay Thompson. You're going to go on air like so many fans have done tonight and record a message for Klay. So those messages, Kyle, you're recording them. Tell the people. I'm not lying.
They're in our system.
They're recorded in your system. And that didn't sound convincing at all. Like they're somewhere in the system.
Should I replay one so that?
Yes, please. Please. Don't make me look like a liar here.
All right, then this was our last caller.
Okay,
Keith
here we
from
go.
Monterey.
There we go.
I'd just like to thank Klay Thompson for being the ultimate warrior, bringing us titles, showing class the whole way, and being one of the best ever for the Golden State Warriors. Thank you, Klay Thompson.
See, that's what I like, the evidence. I like evidence. I like it. So there you are. Be like Kyle, who called in from Modesto. Modesto, right? Yes, Modesto. Keith, sorry. Jesus Christ. Be like Keith from Modesto and dial in 415-808-5627, 415-808-KNBR, and you can record your message live on air for Klay Thompson. You say thank you, your appreciation, what you loved about him, how much you miss him, your favorite moment, anything. That memory of you buying your first Klay Thompson jersey, whatever you want to tell him. We're going to record them, and then later on, JD can play them on Dubs OT once this show is over, when the game is over. And then tomorrow, in the morning show, Murph and Marcus can play them too. Papa and Lund can do the same. And Tolbert and Copes can do the same as well. So it's your chance to go on air on KNBR and record a message like Jeff from Modesto is about to do right now. Jeff, welcome to Sports Phone KNBR. The floor is yours. Give us your message for Klay Thompson.
Thank you, Carlos. Jeff Kolkman calling in from Modesto. I just want to say thank you to Klay for all he did for 13 incredible years with the Golden State Warriors, made it very exciting. Classy player, very much unselfish, and just really a true spirit of the Golden State Warriors. I've been following the Warriors personally since I attended my first game back in 1979, and I followed the Warriors the whole time since then. My cousin Brad Holland played for the Lakers in 1980, and then Klay's father came along and won 2 titles with the Lakers after that. So basketball's in our family, in our blood, and we love Klay, and we hope all the best for him in the next few years with the Mavericks, and may he do well there too. Thank you.
That was a great message, Jeff from Modesto. Now that you're with us here on the show, the Dubs are up 6, 88-82 in the third quarter, 151 left. Give us your favorite Klay Thompson memory.
Well, it's got to be I think it was, he scored 37 points in a quarter, or
against the Kings.
Amazing. Yeah, it was something that, had never been done before.
Nope.
Things in baseball happen a little more often. That's unusual, but in basketball, people that have done something incredible before, it takes a while for it to come along. And that night perhaps was the most amazing for me, because I was living in Europe at the time.
Really?
So
where? That's a story. Where?
Yeah, I lived in Norway. For 25 years. In fact, I was in Norway when, Magic Johnson announced that he had the virus that caused AIDS.
Yes.
And he's still with us. He's still alive. He's doing great. He and Magic and Brad and Kareem, they all keep in touch. They do stuff together. Michael Cooper as well. But, the Lakers is a family. The Warriors are a family. And, once you've been on the Warriors, you're never really off of the Warriors.
Yep.
That's just the way it is.
So,
everybody takes care of each other.
So you're saying, Jeff, you lived in Norway. This is late 80s, early 90s, correct?
Yeah, late 80s. I think I moved there in 88, 89, and then I've lived there. I just moved back to the Central Valley about 4 years ago.
Okay, so how are you following the Warriors pre-internet when all this is happening? I mean, how are you following Run TMC and company and the Dubs?
You follow it however you get your news.
That's right.
Yeah. We had newspapers. We had they had tape delays. You could get these games like a week after the game was actually played.
My God.
They send you these tapes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of guys that played in the Norwegian Basketball Federation. I'm also still a member of the referee committee over there. And in fact, I showed that card, my referee card, to Adam Silver down in the Olympics in 2016 in Rio.
That's
and of course,
wild.
He doesn't read Norwegian, but he could tell it was NBBF with a basketball on it, and he asked me what I thought of the the referees in the Olympics, and I said, well, they're not as good as the NBA refs.
No, be real, Jeff. What you tell them? They suck.
No, they did not, because in fact, one of my bosses was doing the games in Paris this last summer.
Oh, so you were sucking up to your boss?
No,
I'm kidding.
They have good referees, but again, the NBA is the best in the world.
So now that I have you with us, this is a great call. This is what I. By the way, a final shot. So third quarter is done. Warriors up 7, 96-89 going into the fourth quarter. Jeff is in Modesto. He just called. He taped his message for Klay. He lived in Norway. It's a beautiful story. Interesting story. You lived in Norway. You were a basketball referee, correct?
Yes, among my other jobs. Yeah.
So you were refereeing FIBA basketball, correct?
Norwegian Basketball Federation, which is FIBA. Yeah.
The one I'm saying, FIBA rules is what I meant to say,
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
So what is? Give us the biggest difference that you think between for you, or the best thing FIBA rules have versus NBA rules.
Well, for instance, the key area is larger. They've extended the lines. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Pardon me?
See, Jeff, we have a cough button here in the station. You don't have that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wish you could. You had, but you don't.
I'm so excited to be on the radio.
Oh, good.
I used to work on the radio in Norway too, actually.
All right.
Norwegian television radio.
All right.
So, yeah, it's been great
the key.
listening to the games. Yeah, the key is different. I think the measurements of the court are actually a little bit different. But yeah, that's the one thing. And they don't allow as much, traveling as they do in the NBA. They're a lot cleaner in that respect. So that's why the USA has had difficulty in international competition before, because when they're kind of used to getting away with calls in the NBA, that wouldn't happen in the FIBA.
That's right.
So they had to be called upon, to do better during those games. In fact, I was at the game where USA lost to Puerto Rico in 2004 in Athens.
Yes.
That was amazing. We had LeBron James, we had Allen Iverson, we had all kinds of, incredible players on that team, and Puerto Rico beat us by, what was it, 19 points, 17 points? It was a blowout. But that's never happened since.
Yeah.
So Pat Riley was sitting about 6 rows in front of me.
Wow. This has been a tremendous call. And final question before we let you go. Norway is not a big basketball country. However, they do love their soccer, or football, as they call football in Europe.
Yeah.
Did you catch any Valerenga or, I don't know?
Yeah, that's Vålerenga.
Vålerenga, okay.
I'm very
Stabæk?
glad you mentioned that.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Stabæk, I live near Stabæk.
Okay.
But I would say, I want to tell you that, my cousin Brad Holland is my first cousin.
Yes.
My other cousin in Norway is Erling Holland.
No way!
Yes way.
How is – wait, this is a – Are you know who Erling Holland? Let me bring in my producer here to this fantastic phone call. Kyle Hart, do you know who Erling Holland is, Kyle?
Oh, of course.
Who is he? Don't lie.
The Norwegian striker for Man City.
Yes, you know who he is.
That is correct.
We're giving culture to the. We're giving. Listen, this is a very exciting moment for me. We're finding 6 degrees of separation from Klay Thompson to FIBA basketball to Erling freaking Holland. I love the radio because so give me the story. So he's your cousin.
How about my cousin Brad played on the Lakers, and then Clay's father played a few years later.
Yeah, Michael Thompson.
Years.
Yes.
Yeah, Michael Thompson, and I
Yes.
met Michael in Rio at the Olympics as well as Adam Silver.
Okay.
So those are good memories for me.
So how are you a cousin of Erling Holland? Is what I want to know.
So my mother's name is Kay Holland Kolkman, and the Hollands come from Norway, which is kind of unusual because it's actually Holland in Norwegian. And years go by, and I'm at a soccer match in Norway, in Oslo, watching, I believe it was the Netherlands playing Norway for a European, to get to the European finals, or to get to the European championships.
Yep.
The Euro League.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I see this gentleman running around on the field with, Holland, and I'm thinking, that is my great-grandmother's name. I got to meet this guy after the game. And sure enough, his name is Alfinga. That's Erling's father.
Yes.
And he told me, this is so funny.
Who also played soccer in England.
Absolutely.
That's why Erling was born in England.
That's correct.
This is a wild phone call. I love this. Oh, my God.
So Erling was born in Bryne. That is where my great-grandmother was born. And then, the years go by, and I see Alfinga running around on the pitch with my grandmother's name on the back, and I had to meet him. And afterwards he said, you're going to need to talk to my father because I'm just a football player.
This is wild.
I don't know much about the family.
This is wild. This is wild.
So we have two.
Oh, my
we
God.
have two great players. We have Brad, who won the 1980 NBA championship with the Lakers.
Yeah.
He went to UCLA.
Yeah.
And then Erling, is Champions League. But my sister, getting excited about finding family, actually traced some ancestors back to Jordi Cruyff.
Oh, shut up. Now you're just bragging. No, but Jeff, you're bragging. I want to need one of those shows. I need one of those shows that they do your whole family tree. Ancestry thing. I want to need one of those. Because you're going to tell me that your great-great-grandfather was George Washington or something. Come on now.
There's got to be some more famous people. We just haven't found them yet.
Oh, my God. Jeff, thank you so much for the call. Jeff and Modesto, thank you.
My pleasure, Carlos. Absolutely. God bless you.
Amen. That was a great call.
That was crazy.
I'm pretty sure he was just 1 minute away from telling me he was the cousin of Michael Jordan. I'm not saying he was lying because he had everything right. I mean, Erling Holland was born in Leeds because his dad was playing in England at the time. His dad was a professional soccer player too, but he was raised in Bryn. Which that's not something a guy from Modesto would just randomly know. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I actually had this.
Was wild.
This one friend that I met at Cal Poly.
Okay.
In one of my journalism classes.
Yep.
And her last name is Lincoln. And then,
so she's the niece of Abraham Lincoln or something.
That's what she.
The great daughter, granddaughter of Abe Lincoln.
She said, that she's related to Abe Lincoln. I was like, I don't know about that.
That sounds shady.
Yeah.
That sounds shady. Really? She have a beard, top hat. No.
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 At least not then.
No? Okay. All right. The number is 415-808-5627. Again, 415-808-KNBR. I'm Carlos Ramirez joining you tonight on Sports Phone KNBR with Kyle Haar tonight. Once we're going to go live until the Warriors game is done, and when it's over, the game, we're going to tip it over and just tag to JD, John Dickinson, for Dubs OT live from the Gatehouse, right? Harmonic Brewery in the Gatehouse, right there outside of Chase Center. So if you want, you can stop by, say hi to John. He said on this show, we have it recorded too, we have it on tape, that he would buy a round of beer for everyone who says that they listen to Sports Phone and that they love Carlos Ramirez. That's what he said. Just walk up to John and say, hey, John, I heard what you said. I love Carlos. Give me my beer. And he'll buy you a round of beer. That's what John said. I'm not lying. We never lie in this show. Quick break here on Sports Phone KNBR. On the other side, more of your phone calls. We're going to update you with the game. And also, we're going to take a peek around the NBA, see what's happening in this very exciting NBA Cup night. I just still don't know what that means. Quick break. We'll be right back.
This is Sports Phone KNBR. Dial the digits or send us a text at 415-808-KNBR. We're streaming on YouTube all damn day at KNBR 1045.
This wasn't like he had a say in this thing. And he felt like for him, this was the best thing for him. And I understand that as much as I would have loved to have seen Klay finish in Golden State. Selfishly, I would have loved to have seen that. Klay's been around a long time. And Tom, as a player, sometimes it's the right thing for the athlete to say, I need a change of scenery. It doesn't mean anybody did anything wrong. It doesn't mean that he's embittered and frustrated. It just means, you know what? It's best for me to get a new place, a new setting, a new team, a new city. It's often not looked at like that. It's looked at very binary, kind of like you left, you don't like it here anymore.
Yeah.
It's not that simple. And so I'm happy for him. I root for him. I know that that'll be a special night for him. I don't know if he even knows how beloved he is, and maybe he does in the marketplace and how treasured he is, and he's earned that and deserved all that. But I just wish him happiness. I did feel like over the last year he was searching for that. And that's a personal thing too. He was searching to find a way to be happy again and find that joy that he's always had for playing basketball. I hope he finds it. But yeah, for me, I wish he could have found it and stay with the Warriors, but it's okay, right? Life goes on, and he's healthy and playing, and I'm rooting for him.
That was Bob Myers talking about Klay Thompson. Welcome back to Sports Phone KNBR. My name is Carlos Ramirez, joining you tonight with the great Kyle Haar in production and also being the pilot of the ship. He is picking up the phones. He is serving a mad orange tea. No, I'm kidding. It's actually raspberry tea. The number is 415-808-KNBR. 415-808-5627. We're opening up the lines for you to give your message for Klay Thompson on air. You've got 8 minutes and 33 seconds left of the fourth quarter because this show tonight is going to be on air until the game is over. Until then, at which point we will give it, we'll pass it over. We'll give an assist in basketball terms to John Dickinson, who will be hosting Dubs OT from Harmonic Brewery, right? Out in Chase Center. The game is tied at 100 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. As one would say, it is dramatic. Absolutely dramatic up in Chase. Let's go around the NBA, shall we, to find some scores and what's happening around the association tonight. It is NBA Cup night. That means that today's games count towards the NBA Cup. That will basically give players more money. That's what it's all about, right? There's no banners being hung. There's no access to postseason when Klay scores a three-pointer to make it 103-102 Mavericks. That hurts. So let's go around. But it does count. The games do count for both the NBA Cup and the regular season schedule. Only the games played in Vegas, which will be the semifinal and the final, won't count towards the regular season schedule or the standings. So, surprise, in Boston, the Hawks beat the Celtics 117-116. Again, that is from the NBA Cup and also the regular. That means the Celtics are 9-3. 3-2 at home. That is a surprising stat for such a good team. For the Hawks, 28 points. 28 points by Dyson Daniel, the former number 8 pick, first rounder. He was the 8th overall pick by the Pelicans in 2022. Scored 28. Larry Nance Jr. with 19 off the bench for the Celtics. 37 points for Jaylen Brown. The Celtics bench stunk tonight. 12 points off the bench. Peyton Pritchard with 6 and Sam Hauser with 6. So that's the Hawks, the 5-7 now Hawks, beaten the Celtics. The T-Wolves lost or losing. They're going to lose with 33 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 120-106 against the Trailblazers. That's good news for the Warriors. One of the big teams in the West is falling to one of the worst teams in the conference. That is the Trailblazers, 120-106. In overtime, the Pistons handle the Heat, 123-121. Cade Cunningham with 21 points. Tyler Hero went nuts with 40. The Magic give another loss to the Hornets, 114-89. Franz Wagner with 32 points. LaMelo Ball. I can't keep track of my. I was gonna give such a bad soundbite right now. I was gonna say I can't keep track of their last names in plural. Thank God I stopped myself. I can't keep track of the Ball brothers is the best way to put it. Thank you. LaMelo Ball, 35 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. That's one of the worst mistakes, that the Warriors have ever made in the draft. Drafting James Wiseman over LaMelo Ball. He's a great player. You can say whatever you want about the brand, the dad, the Ball brand thing, the craziness about the shoes. You can say whatever. This kid can play. I understood the reasoning behind picking Wiseman. Big man, can run the floor. He can stretch the floor in theory. But Jesus, that's looking worse by the second. The Knicks dispatched the lowly 76ers. The 76ers are stinking up the joint. 111-99. The Sixers are now 2-8, 1-4 at home. The Knicks improved to 5-5. Paul George with 29 points. Worth for nothing. The Raptors fall on the road to the Bucks 99-85. That sounds like a game from 1994. 99-85. I don't remember the last time I called an NBA game box score with no one scored 100-plus points. And Klay drains the three-pointer to make it 110-105 Mavericks. That hurts. With 5:16 left, Klay Thompson's got 22 points, 8 in the fourth quarter. Mavericks up 110-105, and I wonder what people reacted to or how they reacted to that Klay Thompson three-pointer. And last but not least, the Suns beat the Jazz 120-112. Devin Booker, 31 points. In that game, the Suns now improved to 9-2. They're 4-1 on the road. Again, the number tonight, if you want to leave a message for Klay Thompson, is 415-808-5627. 415-808-KNBR. 5:16 left in the fourth quarter. The Mavericks are up 110-105. Luke has got 31. Klay Thompson's got 22. And Kyrie's got 21. That's pretty much it. Because you got Marshall with 6, Gafford with 11, and the bench has got a total of 19 points between Lively, Grimes, and Hardy. And Spencer Dinwiddie is over. Meanwhile, for the Dubs, 25 for Steph Curry, 16 for Kuminga, 14 for Buddy Hield. The bench coming up big. That's 30 between those two. Add in 39, 42 points for the bench so far between Looney, Moody, and Pods, and 30 from Kuminga and Hield combined. The starters haven't been up to their standards in this game. 11 for Draymond, 8 for TJD, 8 for Andrew Wiggins. That's the big problem. Only 8 for Wiggs. He is 3 for 7 and 0 for 2 from three-point land. 9:26. Quick break here on Sports Phone KNBR. When we come back, more. We'll have the end of the basketball game. Hopefully, we'll see if the Dubs can come back. They're down 5, 110-105. This is Sports Phone KNBR on the Sports Leader.
Sound off on the sports leader. Sports phone KNBR keeps rolling right here, and on the all-new KNBR app.
And that leads right into Deebo Samuel and the way that he reacted on the sideline. I understand Deebo's frustration. I've been in those locker rooms, and, you know, I've always gotten along with the specialists, from the snapper, the kickers, the punters. But if you ask any player that's been in those locker rooms, a lot of times those guys are on a glorified vacation, right? They have 2 periods a day. They kick a few footballs. They go to the hot tub. They're always on the masseuse table. They're in the cold tub. They're reading the Wall Street Journal. So if you have a lot of that time, you better make the kicks on Sunday, especially when we're out there practicing for 20 periods a day. We're putting our bodies on the line, and you have one job. So I'm not with violence, but I am with holding players accountable. So I don't agree fully with what Deebo Samuel did, but I understand his frustration. And look what happened. Oh, he won the game with the game winner after Deebo had to waken everybody up.
That was the unmistakable voice of the great Dante Whitner talking about the episode between Tabor Pepper and Deebo Samuel and Jake Moody and what ensued last Sunday when when the 49ers almost kicked one away, pun intended, against the Buccaneers. And that episode seems to have been squashed, fixed, resolved, addressed, and solved between all parties involved: Deebo, Pepper, Moody, and Kyle Shanahan. By the way, the Dubs are down 4, 114-110 with 2:47 left in the fourth quarter. And we're going to go live until the game ends, at which point we will give it away to John Dickinson, and Steph drains the 3 to make it a 1-point game. NBA Cup. What a moment. We'll get back to the Dubs in a few. We'll give you an update once the game ends, and we'll flip it to JD for Dubs OT. Massive block, Draymond on the block. Oh, my God, this game is tremendous. NFL.com has released an article that reads, NFL playoff picture, postseason probabilities entering week 11 of the 2024 season. That is this upcoming week when the 49ers host the Seattle Seahawks at Levi Stadium. So it's interesting the swing that can happen in the playoff bubble and how the playoff odds may change depending on what happens on Sunday between the 49ers and the Seahawks. Steph and 1. Dubs up by 115, 114. My brain is split in half right now. I'm thinking 49. The left side of my brain is thinking Niners. The right side of my brain is thinking Dubs. Okay. And focus. So, according to the NFL website, the Niners are on the bubble because right as of today, as of right now, they're out of the playoffs. Playoffs would be Lions, Eagles, Falcons, Cardinals, all division leaders, and then Vikings, Commanders, and Packers. Three teams, Vikings, Commanders, and Packers, have a better record than two divisional leaders, the Falcons and the Cardinals. But as of today, the Niners are out of the playoff race. What's the impact of Sunday's game? It is not small. Let's put it that way. Right now, the 49ers have a 59% window to make the playoffs. According to, again, NFL.com, the 49ers have a 59% chance of making the playoffs per NFL.com. That is right now with a 5-4 record in the bubble. For instance, the Rams, who are 4-5, you would think, well, one game is not that big of a difference. Oh, it is. Because the Rams at 4-5 currently hold a 12% chance to make the playoffs. Right now, that is the effect of them losing the game to the Dolphins on Monday Night Football. So, what happens if the 49ers beat the Seahawks on Sunday, as we all expect them to do? Well, their chances jump from 59% to 66%. That's a 7-point increase. That is good. They would be 6-4. What if the 49ers lose? Well, they would drop from 59% to 38%. That is no bueno. Not good. That is a 21-point decrease. If the Seahawks win, they go from 10% currently with their 4-5 record to 20%. But if they lose, they go to 5%. And I said this tonight. I host the official Spanish NFL podcast for the NFL. And I said the 49ers have the chance to give the Seahawks a devastating blow because of their schedule, their upcoming schedule, if they beat them on Sunday. And this number certifies what I just said, or what I said today when I was taping the NFL podcast in Spanish. Going from 10 to 5 is the dagger. And Steph just made a massive monster three-pointer. And yes, he did the night-night. And Steph is looking at the camera saying, I'm still here. I'm still here. Kyle, you jumped out of your seat.
That was crazy.
That was insane.
Classic Steph.
Top of the key, one crossover, two crossovers, pump fake in your face, bang. Hashtag Mike Breen. That one deserved a double banger. Bang, bang.
Hashtag night-night.
Yes. And, of course, he did the night-night because Steph's three-pointer just made it 118-114 with 26.4 seconds to go. What a game. What a comeback. The Warriors were bad in the fourth quarter. At some point, they were down 23-9, if I'm not mistaken, in the fourth. Well, ever since that happened, they went on a 13-2 run, and now they're up 118-114 with 26.4 seconds left, and Steph just went Steph. He went nuclear. Bananas, bonkers, Steph. Now, he is guarded by Gafford at the top of the key. That's unfair. Went left, crossed him over, jump shot, top of the key, in your face, night-night. This is just spectacular. Now, This game ain't over, let me tell you right now. This game is not over. Plenty of time left, and they have Klay Thompson and company. So let's see what happens. And they made a three. What'd I tell you? It's going to be a free throw bonanza going forward for everyone. And now Wiggins will go to the line. See, I don't like that. They were triple guarding Steph. Got rid of the ball, tossed it forward to Andrew Wiggins. And he'll go to the line to make it a three-point game. And breathe. Okay, so back to the NFL before we go back and see the end of the game. Again, the Niners have a 59% chance of making the playoffs at 5-4. If they win, they go up to 66%. That is how massive this game is. If the Rams lose this weekend, let me see who the Rams play. I forgot. Let me see. Schedule. Rams. Oh, they play the Pats. They're not going to lose. Well, they might. I don't know. They just lost to the Dolphins. And this game is in Arrowhead. No, Arrowhead. At no. It's in New England. It's in New England. So it's an early morning game for them. No. Foxborough. Thank you, Foxborough. I don't know why I said Arrowhead. The game's at Foxborough, right? So it's a 10 a.m. Eastern Pacific game for them, meaning it's a 10 a.m., 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific game for the Rams. Against a Pats team that is playing for their life. So Steph goes to the line. It wasn't Wiggs, it was Steph. 3-point game. And we'll see what happens. So if the Rams and Seahawks both lose on Sunday, they're both pretty much out of it, and the game is over. The Golden State Warriors have beaten the Dallas Mavericks 120-117 in dramatic fashion in Klay's comeback. Klay Thompson finishes the game with 22 points, goes 6 for 12 from 3. Stephen Curry goes nuts in the fourth, 37 points to climb the hill. And now they have a 9-2 record. They tie the Phoenix Suns at 9-2 and the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the three teams are atop of the Western Conference. Insane game. Dallas drops to 5-6. Now below 500. They're 11th in the Western Conference. So it's Phoenix, OKC, and Golden State, all 9-2. Denver, Houston, Memphis, Lakers, Clippers, Minnesota, and the Kings. All 10 teams have an above 500 record. What a game. And you'll hear everything about it right now with John Dickinson. He is live from Chase Center. What? I know not yet. No, what you scared me for? I know not yet. I know. We're just going to toss it over to him in a couple. Don't worry. Live from Harmonic Brewery outside of Chase. And he's at the Harmonic Brewery. That is in, what's the name I'm looking for? I forgot the name. Outside. The place. Thrive City. Thank you. I got excited with the end of the game. So John Dickinson will be live from Harmonic Brewery in Thrive City. And if Thrive City was ever thriving, was tonight. Klay's comeback. This, to me, is a happy ending for everyone. Not Klay and the Mavericks, right? But for everyone, Warriors involved. Klay had a good game, 33 minutes, 22 points, 6 3-pointers, a couple of free throws, 4 rebounds. Steph went Steph, plus 24, 37 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. And he single-handedly brought the Dubs back on offense in the fourth. When they seemed to be down and out in the fourth, he brought them back. Again, the bench was huge. The Mavericks bench is not good. By their standards, they had a good game, 22 points off the bench. They have scored 9 in games against the Suns. But tonight, 22. However, the Dubs bench, 16 Kuminga, 14 by Hield, that's 30. 5 by Looney, 35. 4 from Moody, that's 39. And 3 from Podziemski, that's 42-22. And that was a big difference. Wiggins and TJD, 8 points each. 11 for Draymond with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. And Curry with 37 big adult grown-up points. And that was the difference, right? Do we have time for a break or not? We do? All right. Quick break here. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show and hand it over to JD for Dubs OT.
Everyone has a community to lean on, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. You've talked with your kids and shared clear expectations, but you're not with them every minute. Your community members, friends and relatives, teachers and coaches, faith leaders, and other important adults in your kids' lives can be your eyes, ears, and a supportive influence when you're not around, reinforcing your messages with your kids and alerting you to warning signs of underage drinking or other substance use. So talk with your kids about these issues and involve the members of your community to help keep your kids safe. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information, visit talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex. How did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Speak your mind on the sports leader. Sports Phone KNBR keeps coming at you. Streaming live at twitch.tv/the sports leader.
And we're back with Sports Phone KNBR. The number is 415-808-5627. I know you want to call in and chime in about the Warriors game. I know you do. We've got some text messages on the Golden State Lumber and Building Materials text line on the 415-808-5627. Chef Curry still the certified GOAT best closer. More of your text messages coming in. King Curry showing the league, and Klay Chase is his house. Was there ever a doubt that it was his house? If the old Yankee Stadium was the house that Ruth built, well, Chase Center is the house that Steph built. Is there any doubt? No. Absolutely not. Remember, when we're done, Dubs OT with John Dickinson live breaking down the game, stats, analysis, the best Golden State Warriors coverage with John Dickinson on Dubs OT. The Warriors take this one 120-117. What a game. What a night. If you want to hear everything about it, the vibe, the Klay Thompson hats, the energy, the excitement, the closing moments, the dramatic fourth quarter, everything right now with John Dickinson on Dubs OT. I am Carlos Ramirez, thanking you for joining us tonight on another edition of Sports Phone KNBR. For Kyle Haar, I am Carlos JD. What a game, buddy. Take it.